Was good. We're here, I think. I think everything works. The Twitch is back up. Welcome to the deadline stream. It's Silverstone, baby. Super excited. Love Silverstone. Probably my favorite track. So, very excited for this weekend. Very excited to see some cars go fast around the track. A lot of things that happened since the moment I posted that 3-minute final thoughts video. And now, Bortletto crashed. Spun out, suspension broke, landed in the gravel. Got some questions before I went live here from Composed Pickle and multiple other people asking, will Bortletto make qualifying? I believe he will. It's just a suspension that's broken. I cannot imagine that Sauber won't fix that in time. Now, granted, do you feel confident owning Bortletto when he had that spin? And he has had other moments in practice previously this weekend. That's a different question, right? But I don't think they won't fix the car in time, so to speak. Hello everyone. So who do we have here? We have Michael, Celtic, welcome back. Hope you're healing well after your accident. Mongo, welcome. Sanja, welcome. Over on the Twitch side, we have some people chatting before Calendori. Rai, always happy to see you there. Nixie saying hello. Let's push Rain towards affiliates. I agree. I will be live a lot more on Twitch in the coming weeks. I have way less at work now, so if you want to see some motorsport gaming, make sure to follow me on Twitch. I should be live. It will be a bit sporadic, but I'll try to make it at least every Thursday. But make sure you follow there and also follow me on Twitter and other social media. Join the Discord, and I'll post there when I'm live and stuff like that. So, YouTube over Twitch, I agree. But they each have their pros and cons, right? Gaming on YouTube just really doesn't work. YouTube streams are good for, like, deadline streams, right? When you have a concept over a certain amount of time and then you end the stream right there. Because going live for, like, 14 hours on YouTube is completely pointless. Like, you don't gain anything from that. So, Twitch is more like, be live for as long as possible. Like, that's how you succeed on Twitch. Whereas YouTube is way more, you know, you have to have a concept. So, I agree that the deadline streams are better on YouTube, but everything else is better on Twitch. But make sure you follow me on Twitch for those other stuff if you're interested in that as well. Welcome to the stream. We have a lot to discuss. End of the session made for a heap of unknowns. I agree. We have Bareman questions. We have Bortletto questions. But the main one that I saw people ask before the stream started is, will Bortletto make qualifying? Unless, like, the floor is completely destroyed from the gravel, but even then, they should probably make it in time, right? The instances where we've seen them not make qualifying has been when there's been larger damage to the chassis, mostly. Just the suspension should be easy to fix, but then again, do you still trust Bortletto with what you've seen, right? That's the real question. Is no negative worth it given the rain potential and many drivers spinning? I think not. I am personally of the opinion that no negative should always be used in the sprint weekend. A rainy sprint weekend at that. I use it in Miami to great effect. I think you should use it in Spa or in Brazil if it's rainy there. But you could, I mean, if you're worried that your team specifically, like, you can always pop no negative really whenever. It's not like that big of a deal, and it can be really, really good in a single weekend as well. I'm just of the opinion that it's optimal to use it in a sprint weekend. So I'm still against 3x McLaren and Kick. I don't trust Kick this week. I agree. I still think Kick is really strong for next week in Sauber. Oh, in Spa, or like in what is it, 3 weeks time now. Because of the potential of going triple McLaren and doing the 3X in Spa. But because Ferrari looked so good in practice, so far at least, and then also, like, the Haas guys look really, really fast, relatively fast, and also good for budget, I feel like it's just the wrong week to switch strategy, in my opinion. Is it worth it a -10 swap? -10 to swap Mercedes out for Ferrari? Probably. I would say, you know, initial calculations suggest yes. Thoughts on Limitless this week? I would be worried just because of the rain, right? The rain could mess things up. But if your team looks really good for budget this week from what you had last week, like say you had Bortletto plus like Ocon here instead of Hadjar and Gasly, then I could see going for it. Or if you already had the McLaren Sauber build, for example, then you could definitely go for it. I don't think it's going to be bad. by any means. I just don't think it's going to be like the craziest thing, and I'm also a bit worried about rain. Hamilton for the 2x. I think it's a realistic option. I don't know if I'm going for it, but I think it's a realistic option this week. I'll probably go for it on one of my teams that's semi-competitive, just for fun. Ferrari or Mercedes, I'll have to lose 10 points for Ferrari. I think the 10-point loss for Ferrari could be worth it this week. Let's lower the music slightly. Is there a better track to come for Limitless? Yes, I think Hungary is better. And also, I don't see the point in Limitlessing before Spa, because Spa is a sprint weekend, meaning that you can watch the sprint qualifying and see if the Limitless looks good, and if it doesn't look good, you can just pop it in Hungary. So I think it's a bit of a miss to use it before a sprint weekend, when you can, like, check the sprint weekend and see if the sprint weekend looks good for the Limitless, right? Let's see, over on the Twitch side. 3x Piastri, 2x Russell. I prefer the 3x Piastri, 2x Hamilton if you can stretch to it. How's Red Bull looking considering a strong P3? I'm not gonna jump on the Red Bull. Maybe it's set up for rain. Max Verstappen can always pop up with something. I'm just not excited for them fantasy wise. They're so unpredictable when they're gonna be good and when they're gonna be bad. Hamilton driver of the day if he gets on the podium, guaranteed. I think Hamilton on the podium is a guaranteed driver of the day. So if Hamilton gets top 3, he's on a 40-pointer plus probably. So that's why I really like Hamilton this week. It's pure driver of the day potential. I spoke about it in the Final Fix video that I posted like 30 minutes before going live. That I also think that this could be a good week for Final Fix. If you start with Piastri, which I think a lot of teams are going to look something like this. Now, granted, we still have to discuss if Bortletto is an option or not. But I think a lot of teams are going to look something like this. And if Piastri puts it like P5 in qualifying and Hamilton is on the front row, I could see myself Final Fixing to Hamilton for sure. Get the points, get the budget game from Piastri, and then get the driver of the day points from a Hamilton podium. How's the weather? No neg worthy. Weather is definitely like no negative adjacent. It's at least bringing it up as an option. But in general, like I said earlier, I think no negative should be used in a sprint weekend. Any news on a grid penalty for Bareman? Not yet, but I am keeping an eye on it. I do think a grid penalty for Bareman could be really strong. The Haas guys have really shown some good race pace so far this year, and especially with those upgrades, they look kind of fast. So I think a grid penalty for Bareman would probably be a bonus, especially if he goes out in Q1 and starts last. So I'm actually kind of keen for Bareman if he gets a grid penalty. Yeah, exactly, Micah. I think a grid penalty for Bareman is good for us, unless he like qualifies P8 or something and gets a 3-place grid penalty and starts in P11. That would probably not be the best. But like if he goes out in Q1 or like lower echelon of Q2, I do think that the grid penalty could be good for us. Antonelli has a 5-place grid penalties and no Mercedes this week. That's not necessarily the case. I just wouldn't buy them over Ferrari, right? And I do think Ferrari just straight up looks better. Thoughts on Lawson? Bad for budget, probably good for points. Bareman or Bortletto? That's the thing, right? Because Bortletto had that spin and Haas looked good, I could do this. I could go Bortletto-less. Coined a new term today. Will Bortletto be repaired for quali? Yes, I think so. I would be very surprised if he's not. -10 to switch from triple McLaren. -10 to switch from triple McLaren to meta McLaren Ferrari. I mean, if you it depends on what your triple McLaren build is, right? If it's Sauber, I would say probably stick with it, right? Because you might want to go back to it next week. So I wouldn't switch my core strategy too much. I don't think Ferrari are that good that you need them this week. It just feels weird to sell them for my team, right? Hi, bud. How are you today? I'm good. Why not Hajar? That's a good question. I could just straight up keep Hajar. Because I have 3 free transfers and I'm bored. Probably is the answer. And Haas boys looked better for budget. Let's bring up the budget builder. Right. Budget builder. So Hajar needs 18 points for a 0.6 increase. I'm not saying that he won't get that. I'm just saying, will he get that, you know? When do FP3 sims typically come out? If there are FP3 sims, they usually come out like halfway through this stream. Yeah, he ain't getting that. I've been saying that about like Alonso as well, and Alonso got that with a 22-pointer, but I don't think Hadjar is getting an 18-pointer here. So even if Hadjar gets like a 12-pointer, I would prefer an Ocon 5-pointer over a Hadjar 10-pointer. For sure. I would probably prefer an Ocon 5-pointer over a Hadjar 13-pointer, if I'm honest. So he's never had 18 points. Yep, exactly. Hadjar's too good in qualifying, that's it. Like, if Hadjar started further back, I think he could have the potential of actually reaching like a 20-pointer. But because he always performs in qualifying, it sort of limits his potential. I mean, you saw Lawson last week, finished at P6, only got 13 points, whereas like Hulkenberg is getting 20, 15, 30 points. Minus 10 to go from Colapinto to Lawson? No. You never do minus 10s to switch cheap assets. Final fix a good option today? Well, not today, but after the qualifying, maybe. Definitely. Simones on Twitch says minus 10 to move Norris and kick to Bortletto and Ferrari. It could be worth it, for sure. Though, are you sure about Bortletto? I don't know. It depends on how much you want Ferrari for this week. I think, again, I spoke about it previously, briefly, that if you're on the Sauber, like, triple McLaren strategy, do you really want to switch to the meta build now before you might want to go back to the triple McLaren build in Spa? I'm not sure what the answer is there. Will we know about Bareman penalty before qualifying? I assume so, but you never know with FIA, right? Hamilton to Piastri this week for a differential possibility of Ham scoring points. Yes, for sure. If I'm keeping Hadjar, which I'm probably not, like, the thing is, it's very, very tempting to just keep 3 transfers, you know? If I keep 3 transfers here, and just do Gasly and Hadjar to Bareman and Ocon, or Bareman plus Bortletto or Ocon plus Bortletto, I have an extra transfer for Spa, which seems really nice. And I could always final fix in Hamilton if he performs well in qualifying. Word up about Ferrari because of the possible rain, for sure. Ferrari or Merc, straight up, Ferrari or Merc, I pick Ferrari. But I also don't think, like, you have to sell Mercedes. Is it better to sort of transfer the next race? Exactly, Jennifer. That's what I'm saying. Like, that. As much as I would love to just play it fast and loose and get Hamilton in there, you only have that amount of transfers, and I might want to do larger structural changes to my team in Spa. And again, if Piastri performs poorly in qualifying and Hamilton's on the front row, I'll just straight up use Final Fix. I think Final Fix could be really strong this week. Ferrari and Mercedes? I think that's kind of crazy to go without McLaren. Opinion on 4A? What's 4A? 4 A-tier, like the 2 premium A-tier, 2 premium A-tier drivers, 2 premium A-tier constructors, the 2-2, or 4 A-tier drivers, because I don't think you can ever afford that. I want to go to bed early and lock in my team now. I need to wait for Bortletto and Bareman news. Classic. Haven't I told you last time to add Bortletto? Yes, you have. You have. 2 constructors, 2 drivers. Yeah, I called it 2-2. I mean, if you can fit Piastri, Hamilton, McLaren, Ferrari, and still having, like, decent, cheap assets, by all means, but you need a brutal budget for that. What about no negative? Again, no negative, you could always use it in a rainy race, but I prefer to use it in sprint races, always. I will never back down from that. Unless they change fundamentally how sprint weekends are scored, I will never use no negative in a non-sprint race. What do we think about Aston Martin as second constructor for budgets to avoid using a transfer to change it? It depends on what your strategy is over the next, like, 2-3 races. Nice work, for sure. Like, it completely depends on your team and what your strategy is in, like, the next 3-4. Does Final Fix cost minus 10? No, it doesn't. Final Fix does not cost a minus 10. Alright. I'm saving no negative for Brazil. I think that's a good plan. Is Ocon best for budget this week? I don't think he's best for budget, but he's good for budget. Alonso is best for budget this week. Bortletto is second best. So now who are the best Sainz and Hadjar replacements? Bareman, Ocon, Hulkenberg, Bortletto, Alonso. Double Haas, what about Bareman penalty? A Bareman penalty would make me more inclined to buy Bareman. No Bortletto? I don't know yet. I'm just fiddling with my team. I can't afford double Haas. Bortletto hasn't looked great in quali. I have Verstappen. Would you consider? I'm not considering Verstappen, but if you believe in Verstappen's ability to destroy everyone in a rainy race, go for it. In that order? No, not necessarily. I haven't done the... I think Alonso's the most must-have. And then the others are kind of tumbled. Yeah, I think as long as you have Alonso, you can do the others in any order, realistically. Though I do think... Like, Bareman is probably lost in that order, but if he gets a penalty, he's back in the mix. What's the problem with Bareman and Bortletto? Bortletto crashed at the end of FP3, and Bareman did some funky stuff during the red flag, and might get a penalty for it. Is the rain on race day? I didn't know about that. It looks like it. 2x Piastri or Norris autopilot. You can autopilot literally whenever you have two premium drivers, in my opinion. But in terms of just straight up 2x Piastri or Norris, if you have triple McLaren, I do wholeheartedly believe you should 2x Norris. Because let's look at the elite data on F1 Fantasy Tools. From the Patreon 500, let's look at the global 500 as well. 95% have Piastri in the global 500. 93.6% have Piastri in the Patreon 500. Meaning that if you're running a triple McLaren build, you should 100% be using Lando Norris so that you can be differential and gain more points. And like hope for Norris to get points. More points than Piastri. So if you're on a triple McLaren build with Norris plus Piastri, you should always 2x Norris. Just because of differential. Because like if Piastri wins the race, you don't get any points for that compared to other people. Whereas like Norris is your differential. Last time you said 2x Norris, he scored 0. I've said 2x. To be fair, Celtic, I would like to set the record straight. I say 2x Norris literally every week in the context of a triple McLaren build. Are we confident in Mercedes? Nope. Not at all. But yeah, that 2x Piastri or Norris question was from Simon over on Twitch. Or Simonis. So if you want to be on Twitch, you can do so, link in the description. I will be doing more. Could you answer me, please? I don't know what your question. The chat is going by fast. I can't see anything. Everything. Sorry, Google. Post your question again. I might see it next time. Okay, I missed the last. I didn't know if you said it there. Yeah, I do always. I'm very consistent in that. If you're on a triple McLaren, you should definitely 2x Norris. Can you show FF ideas on MS Paint? Now you're talking my language, Abhijit. Now you're talking my language. Let's launch the GoTo app. So, final fix in Silverstone. Let's just that is truly terrible. Is this the British flag? Oh, what a perfect British flag. There you go. I don't know what that was. Let's just ignore it. Ever did that. Okay. Final fix. What an artist. Final fix in Silverstone. Silverstone. Okay, hold on. I need to. Oh, okay, Silverstone. I think most people are on Piastri. And the main final fix candidate that I see is Hamilton. The reason for this: Hamilton, bad for budget. Let's just do a little. Hamilton is bad for budget. Piastri is good for budget, right? And also, Hamilton has driver of the day potential, right? Driver of the day potential is very good for Hamilton. So, if Hamilton is, I would say, front row start for Hamilton, and Piastri is like P5 to like P8, I think you do it. Alright. I feel like a kindergartner. Ham podium this week, let's go. I can see it. Yeah, I think this is the final fix situation. Will we know before team lockdown if Bortletto's car is fixed? If yes, where? Probably just looking and seeing if the car is on the grid. What if it's P9 or above? Well, if Piastri's P9 or lower, then Piastri becomes a good option because of overtakes and positions gained, right? So I feel like P5 to P8 is that awkward middle ground where it's like there's not that many positions to be gained because most of the people in front of him should be fast. So the points potential is kind of limited for Piastri there. Whereas like if Piastri's like P12, he's really good, right? Piastri's not bad this weekend. Oh no, I agree, but that's what I mean. Like after qualifying, this is final fix. Aston and McLaren constructors, which driver you choose? It depends. If you can afford, I don't think you can afford triple McLaren with that unless you have a really good budget. I would pick Piastri and Norris, and if I can't afford Norris, I would go for Piastri and Hamilton. All the British people in chat currently protect Vollmer. You have dishonored their flag. I've dishonored my own flag as well, so it's okay. I'm torn. Who should I go between Norris, Hadjar, and Gas? That's a big spectrum of drivers. I don't know who to pick from there. I think Hamilton is the best option for points. I could see it, honestly. Double A or meta template? I think the meta template looks too good this week, realistically. Let's look at the simulations. Have we heard anything about what's it face? What's the face? FP3 sims. I think we only have FP2. Respect the moustache. Thank you, Ryan. What do you think about using the Limitless chip? I do agree on the point, Chris, that there's a clear top 5. But he said he would have them coming. Okay, sick. FP3 seems coming. Sick. Thank you for the information, guys. Yeah, Chris. So I do think that I agree with you that there's a clear top 5. I'm just a little bit worried about the rain, mainly. So in terms of FP2 sims, it doesn't really look like triple McLaren. What if I put Kick Sauber in here? Include Kick Sauber. It's quite a big drop off in points to what I'm already running, right? Like 205 in terms of budget. With McLaren, Ferrari. Yeah, it's saying Ocon Bareman actually. Ocon Bareman. Oh, it's saying nope. This game. All right. This app. Ocon Bortletto. It's saying yeah, and then Bareman Bortletto is similar. So I think it's probably just this, right? Why do you think the meta is better than double A? Because Sauber don't look fantastic, and like Ferrari just look really good this weekend compared to Mercedes so far. Who would you 2x on Limitless? Probably Norris. Norris has been on the podium the last 2 years in the McLaren, when the McLaren was not as dominant. So, 102 million team, who would you choose? I mean, at that point, you're kind of forced to go for, like, McLaren, Sauber, right? Or something similar. And just pick, like, basically run this team with a cheap constructor. Hadjar or Gasly? Definitely Hadjar. Definitely Hadjar. Is Limitless a good shout? I don't think it's a bad shout. but I wouldn't go so far to say it's an amazing shout. Should I switch Norris to Piastri? Depends on if you're doing it for free or if you're spending transfers on it for it. I would rather save a transfer for next week or in Spa than to do that transfer. Like the stream, guys. See, Sanja knows what the streaming game's about. What are we at? We are at 476 viewers with 152 likes. That is not good, guys. That is terrible. That is absolutely terrible. So let's fix that. Let's get that up to 200 likes right now. If you haven't liked the stream, make sure you do so. And let's do a quick little F1 predicts, and then we'll do the tier lists. Okay? Sounds good. Let's do F1 predict. I need to go through all my other teams as well. I haven't made any changes on them either, so we have a lot of things to do. Imagine not liking the stream. Exactly, Emil. Exactly. But, I mean, 470 people is crazy. Michael, thank you so much for the super chat, man. If we hit 5 super chats before the, like, you know, within an hour, I'll do the, what's it called? Tip of the week. I forgot my own segments earlier. So that's as usual. Alright, let's do F1 predicts. Last week, I did pretty well, actually. 79 points. Not bad. I think it's going to be a Norris, Piastri, Hamilton podium. I think that's the podium. Who will qualify the highest? I'm going to say Lando will qualify the highest. How many British drivers will get to Q3? The fact that they don't include Albon here feels kinda strange. But, whatever. I'm going to say... Well, predicting one of them to go only 2 is insane. Nah, it's going to be 3. I don't think Bareman makes it. So let's do 3. Let's do 3. Will we see a new winner of the British Grand Prix? Hamilton, Verstappen, Alonso, and Sainz are the drivers who have won at Silverstone. I'm going to say yes, I think one of the McLaren boys will win it. Which of the British drivers will finish the highest in the race? Lando Norris. Who will set the fastest pit stop time of the race? Let's do Ferrari. Will there be more than one use of the safety car and or VSC? I'm going to say yes because of the rain. I think we'll see 2 safety cars / VSCs. Who will set the fastest lap time of the race? I'm going to say Piastri. Because if Lando wins, then Piastri's behind him. So I think Piastri gets the fastest lap. And which team will score more points? It was a bad weekend for Williams in Austria. Can they bounce back? I'm going to say yes, they can. And then how many different teams will finish in the top 10? The F1 grid is more competitive. There are 7 teams grab points in Austria. So I don't think it's 5. Well, 7 is only 10 points, huh? Get quite a bit by only saying 6 teams. But I don't think Red Bull is going to be good enough. So should we go wild and say 8? No, I don't think it's... I think it's actually just going to be straight up 7. I think it's going to be 7. Alright. That's the prediction. We go back to F1 Fantasy. It's also prepping for Limitless this week. Keeping McLaren and Ferrari. I mean, probably. I feel like you can't go wrong with keeping McLaren and Ferrari. It's so simple. So simple. 195 likes. Let's get 5 more likes on the stream. There's 400 of you here currently. 200 of you have not liked the stream. Devastating. Over on the Twitch side, first time chatter Matt RW says 111.1 million team currently have Piastri, Hadjar, Hulk, Alonso, Gasly, McLaren, Mercedes. What would you change? I don't think with that budget you can get to McLaren, Ferrari, right? That's the problem. But I suppose you can downgrade Hadjar and Gasly and maybe like you can downgrade Hadjar and Gasly and maybe get the McLaren, Ferrari in there. So I don't actually know, Matt. It's difficult because obviously, like, I would like to get rid of Mercedes this week to Ferrari, but if you can't afford it, you can't afford it. If you can afford to go like McLaren down to Sauber and then do like Hadjar up to Hamilton, I think that could also be really good because then at least you cover Ferrari, right? So on those like lower budget teams where you literally cannot stretch to Ferrari while still keeping, you know, the Hulkenbergs, the Alonsos, whatever, I do think like a McLaren Sauber team could be really good with Piastri plus Hamilton for this week. Rye says, like the stream on YouTube and move over to Twitch. Here you go. That's your name. More than one, so we need 2 VSC. Yeah, I'm on the 118.6 million is kind of naughty. What am I on? And I keep forgetting what I'm on. All right, let's actually quickly do my other teams. This team, I'm gonna do the what I just said because this team has a really low budget. So I'm gonna do Hamilton in here and do Kick Sauber and literally just keep Hajar and call it a day. So this is the second team. We'll do this. Confirm. I don't make changes with this team anymore because I don't care about it, so we'll do here. I watch on both YouTube and Twitch. Hey yo, that's a real OG. Actually, I'm gonna put make Hamilton the 2x driver here just because just to be differential, because this team is already kind of in the mud. Ignore this third team. I'm trolling on that one. Yeah, 2x Norris on that team. Exactly. Yeah, I think most likely for me is just I'm getting Ocon, Bareman, Bortletto. 2 of them. I don't know who. I don't know who just quite yet. Alright, let me get the tier list up. Let's do that. Tier list. Let's see. It should be here, right? Yes, it is. Okay. Alright, so let's find the correct flag. You can see all the different faces I have here. I'm on the wrong. There we go. Quick zoom in for the boys. Where is... There we go. I mean... Oh, yeah, I totally messed up the British flag, didn't I? Yeah. Unlucky. Alright, anyway, let's scramble these. So... Because I'm out in good time this week with the tier lists, who do you guys want to hear first? The first driver I see, just a driver name, nothing else, I'll talk about first. So, shout into the void, guys. I'm not going to do Celtic because you're a moderator. So, I'm going to pick the second. Sorry. We'll do Norris. Okay. Where is Lando? Lando Norris, this week, looks really good. Oh, yeah. I got to be fair. Okay, I got to be fair. They're going to call me biased. They're going to call me biased. All right. So, as for Norris... He's teetering on S tier, but I don't think it's like must buy. I think he's high A tier. Really good option this week. Looks fast. I think if you have him on a triple McLaren build, he's really strong. The one thing holding Norris back is the budget. If Norris was guaranteed to rise 0.3 or was slightly cheaper, like closer to Piastri in price, he would probably be like must buy. It's just that he's more expensive, so it's difficult to fit him into teams. And he's not even guaranteed to rise in price. So I have to put Norris in A tier because of that. But I do think points-wise, he's better than Piastri for potential this week. And especially if Hamilton doesn't make the podium and Norris wins it, it's still British bias, right? So Norris could definitely come away with the driver of the day. Well, RL, on the thing above me, you actually weren't first. I'm not snubbing Hulkenberg, but I'll do Hulkenberg now. I think you all know where I like my Hulks. I mean, the reason why like cheaper builds with 2 premium drivers, 2 premium constructors isn't good is because you need to have a Hulkenberg in your team. I think Hulkenberg is just must have. Probably the best driver in the game, if not for Alonso. I'm just going to skip straight to him. I think Alonso's the must have. At his price, there's no reason not to own him. Literally no reason. I think you're playing the game wrong if you don't have Fernando Alonso in your team. So I think everyone should have Fernando Alonso. Hulkenberg, you could be brave and go without, but I mean the budget is just way too good, and he's averaged like 23 points in the last 3 races. It's actually kind of crazy. Alright, let's see. I see Ocon here from Snyderman. Ocon has definitely moved up. He was lower on the grid last week. I think Ocon, and I'm going to talk about the other two as well. I think Ocon, Bareman, and then where is... Did I delete Bortletto? Who is this? What is this? What is this? Okay. Where's Bortletto? There he is. There's just a random blue blob. Alright, Bortletto would be S tier, but then he crashed and he's not... And he's spun twice in practice so far. So, I do think these three drivers, while really good, they're not must-haves like the other two. I think Piastri has to go up in S tier. I mean, he just... Mr. Consistent. And I think for the first time this year, Hamilton is going to be above a B tier and actually be an A tier asset. I think Hamilton is a really good pick this week. What can I say? And if you want to play it different and try and one up your mid-league rival or whatever, I think Hamilton could be a really good way to do so. All right, who's remaining? Who do we want? Leclerc. I think Leclerc still really good. You can definitely go for him. But I just think because of the driver of the day potential with Hamilton, I would rather pick Hamilton over Leclerc. But I don't think Leclerc is bad this week. So Leclerc is definitely B. Hamilton is 0% pick in Patreon 500. Yep. I mean, no one's had Hamilton all year. Realistically, like anyone in the top like 10k has not had Hamilton once this year, apart from like on a Limitless perhaps. Let's do George Russell. George Russell I think is also B tier. I think he's good this week, but considering he's quite close in price to Hamilton, I would just try and stretch it to Hamilton if I could. Yeah, so realistically, I just prefer the Ferrari boys over Russell this week. Budget-wise, he's better, though. But again, the Mercedes don't look that good, so he's not a bad option. If you have him alongside like a Norris or a Piastri on a 2 premium driver, 1 premium constructor build, I think he's fine. Ocon versus Bareman, I think it's really close. I think it depends on if Bareman gets a penalty. By the way, if you guys see any news about the Bareman penalty, please spam the chat. I will allow you to do that. Exactly, Hamilton is 0.9 mil cheaper with a higher driver of the day shot, for sure. Yeah, so Hamilton is definitely above Leclerc in that sense. Russell is good for budget, I agree. That's like the main thing. If Russell wasn't good for budget, he would be C tier this week. So that's the reason he's a B tier. Let's do Lance Stroll. Lance Stroll is pretty good in practice. Really bad for budget, though. And he's also just quite expensive. I don't see why you would ever run Lance Stroll over someone like an Ocon or just Fernando Alonso, right? So I'm going to stick Lance Stroll in F tier here. Should the no negative be used because of the rain? I think no. I am always on the side of use no negative in a sprint weekend. Rainy sprint weekend if you can. Also, he's Stroll, true. But I mean, Stroll was S tier at the beginning of the season, so... but I just think he's fallen off quite a bit. I mean, both the Alpine drivers are just straight up C tiers, right? They're not awful picks, but like, do you really want them? And like, looking at budget, if you go to the budget builder... where is it? Here, required points. I'm on the wrong screen. Like, they're not awful, but like, really, I'd rather pick Hadjar over both of them, and even Stroll. Like, Stroll is sort of on the same level. I'm putting him in freaking F tier. So I don't know. The Alpine just looks really bad in the race pace. So I'm not super interested in the Alpines currently. Are the F tier? Maybe it's harsh putting Stroll in F. I think Stroll is F. Sainz is definitely F, and so is Albon. The Williams, there's something wrong with the Williams reliability, and in terms of budgets, where has Albon gone? Was Albon the void? Was that like a modified Albon? Because Albon is definitely missing from this list. He's not hiding behind the British flag. Okay, I think it was probably Albon who turned into a blue dot. Alright, let's add Albon back in. Very big. Let's make him the same size as everyone else, and let's add a little border back. Boom, there we go. Yeah, Albon and Sainz, definitely F tier. Liam Lawson, good for points, bad for budget. Hadjar, kind of similar. I think I prefer Hadjar in general, but Liam Lawson is also 4.5 million, so I'm going to put both of them in B tier. I think you can definitely own them this week without being too worried. I think Tsunoda is just Giga F tier. There's no reason to own Tsunoda at all. Max and Kimi. Huh. What do you guys think? Albon missing, how fitting after the last 3, yep. Piastri or Hamilton 3x? You definitely don't 3x in this race. You just get way more points 3x in the sprint race, so I wouldn't do that this week. B and C. Antonelli's decreasing in price, yeah? Yeah, he's 47 points. Antonelli's F. And I think Max is probably B tier. It's really hard to place Max this week. Yeah, Ant is a budget risk. I think Ant is F tier, to be honest. I think there's no reason to own Antonelli this week. I think this is the tier list. I think this is the driver tier list. And sort of in this order as well. Even if Gab B doesn't qualify, it isn't bad starting last, budget still race. Yeah, but if he doesn't qualify, he'll lose 5 points. But the thing I'm more worried about is like his confidence in the car in this race, right? Because he's had 2 spins now, and he just feels like a DNF risk. That's what I'm worried about, Bortletto. And if he DNFs, he doesn't increase in price. Like, he actually drops in price on a DNF. Leclerc might take pole. Might. He just has to finish the race, lol. I mean, you can say that about everyone. But I just have not seen the confidence that I've seen. I think the confidence in the car is such a big thing for these midfield drivers. We talked about that like 2 races ago. About like Hadjar, right? Because Hadjar said in Canada that like the car was not feeling good, and we all kept Hadjar and he got a 1-pointer, right? If we did not care about budget so like intensely, and had just gone for points and had listened to what Hadjar said before the race about the car, I don't think we would have had Hadjar in our teams in Canada, and we would have maybe gone for a Hulkenberg who got 15 points or whatever, or Alonso who got 22 points. And I think I have not seen... Whereas, like, last week, Bortletto looked really good in practice. Everyone was considering him, like, to transfer him, despite not being the best budget asset. I ended up not doing it, right? This week, I have just not seen that from Bortletto. And it reeks DNF for me, unfortunately. So, all that being said, I might still bring in Bortletto. But I haven't decided. I could bring in Ocon and Bareman instead. Rain incoming tomorrow. Thoughts on NN? I've talked about no negative a lot. I should probably just put up a post like at the top saying I don't think you should use no negative when it isn't a sprint race, because that's my true thoughts on no negative. Rumors of Bortoletto's car not being fixed completely or on time. I'm very surprised about that. I would imagine that they would be able to fix the suspension in time, but I would love to see some insight from where that would be. Ocon or Bareman? Depends on... I think Ocon, but if Bareman gets the grid penalty, I prefer Bareman. Tip of the week, don't use no negative. I might actually at this point. Should Law... Okay, over on Twitch, we say Brendan Play says, should Lawson be higher ranked because he's at the floor? No, I would have put in C tier if he wasn't at the floor. So... I just ruined my thing. There you go. Yeah. TV said that with Bortletto. Interesting. No noise work. Actually, the opposite. If Bareman gets the penalty, Bareman is better. Because the Haas boys, when they've been good this year, it's been overtakes and positions gained. And Bareman with a grid penalty would actually be better than without for F1 Fantasy. Because Bareman feels like the typical guy to go out in Q2, and like Q2 finish is not what you want from your midfield drivers. So I would love Bareman to get a 3-place grid penalty and go down to like P18. Sounds like a great time, to be honest. If Rain Bortletto more risk given less experience, I agree. Where do you get the info about Gary Bortletto? From chat. Initially, I predicted that he would finish on time. Like, they would fix the car on time, just from what I visually saw and, like, what I've seen previously happen in FP3s. And it didn't look that severe. But maybe it was more. Maybe the floor got more damage than we initially saw. Right? It's difficult to judge floor damage because it did skid across the gravel. So maybe they had to change the floor, and that could probably delay it more than just. I think fixing the suspension should not be that difficult. I don't know anything about building a car, but I feel like putting the suspension back on, you should be able to do that in 3 hours. But everything else I've heard from Bortletto, like the rumors, have been from chats. So, but apparently they're saying that on the TV broadcast. But maybe those people are talking about rumors online, and I think Bortletto will be fine. Mercedes or Ferrari? Ferrari, definitely. Watching FT, they're struggling to overtake. Maybe starting at the back won't be very strong this weekend. Sure, but it's also going to be potential rain, meaning and if there's changing conditions tomorrow, that could mean a lot of different tire strategies. And we saw what happened in Sandvort, which is not a great overtaking track, when there was like 120 overtakes or something crazy like that. F2's dry, exactly, yeah. If it's changing conditions tomorrow, it's going to be kind of crazy. Isn't Silverstone one of the lowest overtaking tracks? Yep. So is Sandvort when, but if there's changing conditions and like switching between dries and inters, we could see a lot of overtakes. Why might Bareman get a penalty? Because he did like a red flag infringement when Bortletto crashed. What cheap constructor do I go with triple McLaren? I think Sauber's probably the only option, realistically. I mean, you could go Aston Martin as well, or maybe Haas, but I think because of the budgets, I think you go for Kick Sauber at 7.5 million. Are you playing McLaren Mini League? I have not seen that. I should probably do so, huh? Let's go. Thank you for saying that. I have not seen that. Yeah. We have another hour and 15 minutes to join the McLaren Mini League. So make sure you join this. Usually these mini leagues, I'm in the Ferrari one, right? They usually like do one every, win a tour of the McLaren HQ, yeah. So they usually have prizes associated with these official leagues. So make sure you join them. Included races 3. Interesting. So maybe you should, if you want to win this, you should definitely use your 3x in Spa, huh? Using my team 2 with all chips for that league. That could be a play. That could be a play. I might actually do that, huh? Should I? Should I join it with team 2 and just pop, because I've not used any chips on this team. Pop no negative this week. Pop 3x in the Spa, and then Limitless in Hungary to try and win it on this team. Use your best team. I mean, everyone's gonna run this team. Shouldn't I try and be different? I might work my 2x Piastri or 2x Hamilton. I mean, if you have both, you should always 2x the non-Piastri because everyone has Piastri. But in general, I think Piastri is better. Alright, I'm actually gonna try and win this McLaren League, okay? Are you guys ready? I'm gonna try and win this McLaren League. So I'm gonna do it with this funky team. And I'm gonna do no negative this weekend. Then I'm gonna do 3x in Spa. And then Limitless in what's it face? Hungary. Perfect. So I'm gonna try and win it. Yeah, use I have Limitless. So it's 3 races. It's Silverstone, Spa, and Hungary. So I use no negative now. I use triple DRS in Spa, and then I use Limitless in Hungary. Are you not trying to win the Ferrari Mini League? No, it's too late for that. I don't know how long that's going for though. Alright, let's go back to this main team. Actually, I should log in on my the cheat accounts where I have all the cheats because I started with more budget than everyone else. Open incognito. Don't worry about that. The reason we do incognito mode is because I can log in to a different account without having to log in over and over again. Don't worry about it. It's fine. It's fine. Fantasy. Accept all. Sign in. Super secret email address. Manage your team. There we go. Alright, what do we have here? I have to clarify, right? Okay, so this is the count that I made after Australia. So I started with 100 million, but with 0 points. It's actually doing incredibly well. I've been a Norris fanboy here. Let's see. I have used a bunch of chips here. Yeah, we could try and win it on this one as well. I've used Limitless here. So let's try and grab a cheeky win here with this. And then perfect. So let's do this on this team. And let's apply chip. I've already used no negative. We'll try and win with this team. What's your budget on that super team? Super team budget is at 120.2 million. I feel like whoever's got the most budget already is going to win the mini league. Not necessarily. They can get unlucky. Show me your budgets. Can you beat this? 120.2. I can't win that mini league because I have already used my Limitless here. 121.3. Yikes. Fraser's is actually insane. 123.2 is brutal. How did you even manage? Like, how? 120.9 on your main team? Oh. I'm so oh, 123.3. What? That's high so far. Tim, what's your overall rank? Brennan plays on Twitch, says 116.8. Simones says 118.5. I should probably do this. I can just show the Twitch chat on screen. I can just slap it here, right? Up here, you know? There you go, Twitch chat. Say hi. If you're on Twitch, say hi. If you're on Twitch, say hi. You're on stream now. I forgot I could just do that. See, you're talking to each other. Isn't this lovely? What's my plan with this team? I have no idea. I'm probably just sticking with Ferrari. This team has how many transfers? 3 free transfers. Insane. And I had Bortletto as well. Yay. I can't get to Esteban Ocon though with this team because I have Norris. So I think I'm getting rid of Norris actually on this team now. I think I've been on Norris for too long. Talking to yourself. Why 3x McLaren is Spa? Because you can use the 3x chip to great effect, I think. I suspect the 3x to be pretty strong on McLaren that week. Let's do... Should I do Hamilton on this team? Is that crazy? Hamilton Ocon? I feel like that's crazy. I think I should just do... this. Move back to the meta. It's kind of boring. I could stick with Norris, but I feel like it's a mistake sticking with Norris. Maybe not. Maybe I stick with Norris on this team. I don't have Norris on too many other teams, so maybe this should be my Norris team now. Yeah, I'll stick with Norris here and ignore Ocon and just do Bareman. I think that's what I'll do. Just do one transfer and call it a day. Yeah, we'll do this. Hey Rain, some wisdom down on me. Swap Bortletto out or roll transfer? Roll transfer. Bortletto should be fine. Even if he doesn't start in qualifying, he starts last on Sunday and should be able to make up the fact that he got -5 points and should still rise in price. So you definitely don't transfer Bortletto out if you have him. The question is more like, do you buy him now after, him looking not great in the car? I definitely don't think you sell Bortletto ever. That feels like a mistake. Can I repeat questions? I don't want to. You can definitely repeat questions, Masaris, 100%. Because I miss questions all the time. The chat is going way too fast for me to see everything. As long as you don't like spam the same question over and over and over again, like 14 times. But you can definitely repeat questions for sure. Would you take a mindset to switch from Mercedes to Ferrari? I think I would, yeah. Masaris, first right now in a friends league, but my budget is really bad. Should I take on an L on points this week and pick strictly price racing picks? It depends on the budget of the guys chasing you, to be honest, because you can definitely win if your budget is just slightly worse than the others. It also depends on what your budget is, and looks also how many chips you've used. So there's a lot of variables there. But I think you should try and find some sort of a middle ground. Generally, I think that's probably the best way to play it, especially halfway through the season now, because like if you go full balls to the walls budget building now, you're not going to have as much time to use that budget later. So I think the time to go full budget building is sort of like what Fraser has talked about. Fraser's 8K global, and he started the year by going like two cheap constructors and has played really, really well, and his budget is now at 123 million, meaning he can now use that budget to actually gain rank and go on to finish like top 1K, is my guess, with the budget he has. So you're limited to that because you're not going to reach Fraser's budget here. So your budget building now may be a mistake, but it depends on how much you're in the lead by as well in the mini league. So there's a lot of variables there to consider that I am not privy to, but I think you should try and find some sort of happy medium and try and stick to focusing on points. And the things you can do, I'm actually making. It's interesting that you say this, Masaris, because next week or the week after that, like in the off week between Silverstone and Spa, I'm making a halfway through the season video dedicated to the people with low budgets. Because the video is going to be about how do you salvage your season. And it's mainly going to be like, if you're slightly behind, both in points but also in budget, like how do you play it differential enough that you don't fall behind those that are on a higher budget. Granted, you're not going to beat someone like a Fraser, because 123 million is absolutely bananas. But you can beat those that are at like 118 million, even if you're like 110. And I do think I have a really, really good way to do that. So I'm making a completely dedicated video to that in the off weeks now between Silverstone and Spa. So for this week, just play it safe. Stick to points, but also having good budget assets that are going to rise in price. And then check out my video that I'm posting in the off weeks. Bareman 10 plays grid penalty. It's Bareman, boys. It's Bareman. It's Bareman time. He's starting last. He's actually the GOAT. He's the best asset in the game. He's the best asset. He's actually just the best cheap asset in the game now. Yeah? We all agree? That's so sick. Oh, I love F1 Fantasy. You never get this with like an FPL, okay? This is why I love F1 Fantasy. This only happens in F1 Fantasy, alright? I'm so happy. I'm actually so happy here. I also just realized I have the same two teams on these two. That's funny. Whatever. The actual 4 penalty points. Oh. What? What is this British bias? He's now on 8 penalty points. It's the new Magnussen, guys. We have Magnussen at home. Dude, what happened to British bias? Oh, baby. That's so sick. Let's go. Okay, actually, I love that. Alright, these teams are done, yes? Yes, alright. Let's, close this. Go back to this team. Alright. So, breaking news. We're gonna do team submissions in a second. But I think we're also waiting for the FP3 sims, which we now have to wait. So we're gonna do team submissions a bit later today, I think, because of what just happened. Breaking news. Bareman, 10 place grid penalty. Let me get that up on the screen so we can talk about that, because that is truly, truly remarkable and fantastic for F1 fantasy. Let's see, Bareman. Here we go. That is awesome. 560 people in chat. That's a new record, by the way. That's a new record. We're 30 likes away from 300 likes. So let's make sure we get to 300 likes right now. There's like 300 of you that haven't liked the stream, guaranteed. 560 people is nuts. What are we at on Twitch? I haven't actually looked at Twitch numbers. We're at 13. You know, it's fine. I like you Twitch viewers a lot. If any of you 560 people want to go over and follow me on Twitch, that would be greatly appreciated. I'm going to do some motorsport gaming things over on Twitch in the coming weeks. So if you're interested in that, that's going to be fun. So make sure you follow me over there and stuff like that. So let's see. There are a dozen of us. Okay. So let's discuss this absolute party, huh? We like you too. Yay. Tip of the week is tip of the week has changed, ladies and gentlemen. I can confirm drop of 10 grid positions for Ollie Bareman. Woo! That is unbelievably tasty. That is actually party time for F1 fantasy managers, strategists. Love ourselves a 10-place grid penalty. Literally my favorite thing. What about Bortletto? We don't know if his car is fixed yet, but I suspect it will be. Ocon still needs only one for a 0.6 rise? Sure. Why not both? I'm down to skip out on Bortletto. So the move is just double Haas? Yeah. You can still have Bortletto in there. 260 kilometers per hour is on the red flag. Yeah. Yeesh. Still about the pit lane when they accelerated to simulate entering into the pit lane rather than race condition. In fact, we looked at previous lane lap under normal race condition and found that he was faster in this lap under a red flag. To make matters worse, he lost control of the car and crashed into the barriers while at speed. The driver informed us that he misjudged the fact that his brakes were not warm because the lap was done slowly due to the red flag. While this may have been a factor contributing to the crash, we did not consider it to be a mitigating factor. We accordingly penalized him per the penalty guidelines, a drop of 10 grid places with 4 penalty points. Yeah, Bareman is starting 20th. Like, he's just straight up starting 20th, which is so good for fantasy. We love this. This actually fills me with so much joy. We need the party music back. Let's listen to Freelancer one more time. By the way, all the music I use is Stream Beats by Harris Heller. Fantastic stream music. Non-copyright. I should probably credit him in the thing. Are Sims out yet? Not that I've seen for FP3, unless I missed that during this. Alright, let's party to this music while we buy Bareman, right? I mean, Bareman is must. You buy Bareman over Ocon. Sure, like, you definitely buy Bareman over Ocon this week. Yeah, I think Reiter is probably waiting for Bareman, and is going to calculate FP3 Sims with the Bareman penalty. React to this, okay. Bortletto and Ocon are better long-term hold because they have points in the bag versus Bear is all hope for now. I mean, I have transfers to spare. If I keep a transfer, I don't see the point in not going for Bareman now. And Bareman could definitely score like a 20-plus pointer, starting from 20th in a good Haas car this week. So, I think it's a no-brainer to go for Bareman over Ocon. Like, Bareman also has a 14-pointer. Like, that's still good compared to budget with Ocon. So, I definitely think Bareman is just better than Ocon now. For sure. I feel like I'm watching Sealand play FM. Yeah, this is... I mean, you know where I got the music from. Yes, I listen to this all the time. But this is the Sealand... Okay, it is the Sealand song, but I love this song. It's just so good. Last time you had this tune, you dropped the Giga Limitless in Monaco. Epic moment. Yes. Alright, I'm just gonna buy Bareman right now. Because I'm getting Bareman. I don't care what anyone's saying. The discussion now is, do I get Ocon or do I get Bortletto? Because I'm getting Bareman. I'm not taking advantage of a 10-place grid penalty. Are you crazy? What am I? Some sort of FPL manager? Like, no. I'm an F1 fantasy strategist. And if there's a 10-place grid penalty, you bet your sweet little butt that I'm gonna use it. Norris or Piastri? Piastri is generally better, but Norris could be a great differential. I'm just gonna confirm this. Nothing can change my mind. Literally nothing can change my mind. Alright, now the question is Ocon or Bortletto. That's gonna be the rest of the stream. Is gonna be Ocon versus Bortletto. Bareman or Ocon? Bareman. You definitely go Bareman over Ocon. You definitely go Bareman over Bortletto as well. I would I don't think I would go Bareman over Hulkenberg and Alonso, but definitely over the other two. Alright, let's lower the music slightly because it's well, very loud. Alright, thank you for the 300 likes, guys. 584 people, the biggest deadline stream ever. Whew. I can literally see Rain drooling at the Bareman pick. Yeah, you know me, man. You know me. Would you take Hadjar out to put in Bortletto? I'm selling Hadjar this week for Bareman, so yeah, I think so. Let's see. Yank the Mic says hi on Twitch. We also had Eb0111 say a long message to say big up for your content. Thank you so much. For this long thing, I want to use Limitless in Spa. What do you recommend? In Limitless in Spa, you check the thing. You check the, what's it called? The sprint qualifying, and then see if Limitless is good. In terms of double driver and constructor, maybe a Lawson pick. I think Lawson is definitely fine to hold for 4.5 million. But in terms of like all these names and like a full team here, we'll do that in team submissions. So join the Discord. That's where I do full team submissions. Twitch goal to be 10% of YouTube viewers? Probably. I mean, the Twitch goal is to be able to stream more things than just a deadline stream. That's a Twitch goal. I wonder if this will delay the FP3 sims to factor in the penalty. I think so, but only slightly. Only 6 submissions today will be a quick snack. Yeah, let's do that quickly. Yeah. We haven't seen... let's see. Let's hope this is not... Okay, of course it is here. Let's move this over. Let's see. Mercedes to Ferrari mandatory? No, you could do Mercedes to, like, Sauber if you want. And news from Bortletto car? Not yet. I haven't seen anything. We just hit 613 concurrent viewers. Are you kidding me? 600 viewers, guys. Absolutely mental. 350 likes. This is by far the biggest stream I've ever done. Holy. I'm actually blown away. That is absolutely insane. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Is this the race for no negative ship? I don't think so. I am always going to say no to no negative in single race weekends. Yeah, Bareman. Why Bareman? Because 10 place grid penalty, man. Alright, so, since there's like 600 people in here. 630? What is happening? Okay, so, Bareman has a 10 place grid penalty. In F1 Fantasy, this is good. Because starting P20 is better than starting P12 because you get points for positions gained and you lose points for positions lost. Meaning that an asset starting in P20 has a lot of potential for points compared to someone who starts P12. I call this the Show Guan Yu effect from last year when Show Guan Yu started P20 every single race. He started P20 like 6 or 7 races in a row or something stupid like that. And he was a fantastic F1 fantasy asset because like 3 people with DNF. He did like 3 overtakes, finished P16 or whatever, and just got like a solid 10-pointer, and he was a super cheap asset during this entire time. So you want your bad assets to start further back. I am much happier when I see one of my drivers that I have in my team go out in Q1 than in Q2. If they get to Q3, that's really, really good because at that point they also have potential for higher points. You know, they have a higher ceiling. But an asset that's starting P20 is like all but guaranteed to get like a 5-6 pointer, which is a solid score for a cheap driver. Unless they DNF, of course. So, yep. Have I missed the MS Paint Tier C rankings? I have not done MS Paint Tier C rankings. I've done these rankings. But yeah, out of the 660, okay, actually what's happening? Where are all you spawning from? Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Like, where are all of you coming from? There's 660 people in here. I'm actually losing my mind. If you want to join me on the Twitch side, I'm going to do some motorsport gaming in the coming weeks over on the Twitch side. So follow me on Twitter, join the Discord, and follow on the Twitch side. Oop, if you want to be there for that. Sorry, I just hit my mic. Thank you so much for the support. I am... you want to send everyone your way? Thank you so much, Ewan, if Ewan is there. There's no other deadline stream? Well, welcome to the one and only. I'm here every single week, every single race weekend. I'm always doing a deadline stream, so if you want someone who you will know for sure is going to be there, this is the guy right here. So make sure you subscribe. I'm trying to reach 5k subscribers before the end of the year. I know that's a bit ambitious, but I think we can do it. We love you, Rain. Thank you so much. Okay, I am beginning to lose track of the chat, though, I will say. I'm beginning to lose track of the chat. Gassy must leave. I need to take a hit. I don't think you do. Again, don't take a hit to switch a cheap asset around. I don't think that's worth it. Because you're the best. You do a great job. Thank you, guys. The GOAT, always live. Always live. And I rush home from work. I'm risking a parking fine to be here right now. You deserve it. Thank you. I'm actually, like... 668. Oh. Can we hit 400 likes, by the way? We're at 386 likes on the stream. I've like, the highest I've gotten is like 330. 14 of you could like the stream, and we can reach it, and then we'll do the team submissions over on Discord. If you want to be able to submit your teams for review in the future, make sure you do it on the Discord. If you become a member of the stream, it's $2 per month, or just $2 for that 1 month, and then you cancel it, right? Because you just want your team review for that week. I guarantee I will always look at all the members' teams over on the Discord channel, so you get a special little channel on the Discord where you can submit your teams if you're a member. So if you want to guarantee get your team ranked, it's probably not gonna happen today because it's too late, but for the next stream, which is for Spa, make sure to become a member. It's only $2. But I will look through my Discord is not opening. Classic. Yeah, we'll do the team submissions now. The reason we're doing it on Discord is because I like seeing the pretty images and pictures, and it's easier for me to visualize it than just seeing words in chat. All right, we have members team submissions. It's only Fraser today, so should be a quite simple fix. All right, Fraser. For those of you who don't know, the GOAT. Peter says for the potential parking fine. Thank you so much, Peter. That's really funny. Hopefully I don't get a parking fine. I got held up at work and had to, you know, just park outside. It's fine. So, Fraser, if you don't know, is at a crazy budget. He's like 123 million, which is nuts. Meaning that he can afford McLaren, Ferrari, Norris, Ocon, Hadjar, Alonso, Hulkenberg. So, Bareman penalty might change it to be worth. Yeah, I do think Bareman is just better than Ocon now, after what happened, but obviously you posted this before. Andy says, you deserve the views, love the content. Thank you so much, Andy. Appreciate it. Will you play Final Fix Chip this week? It depends on what happens in qualifying. By the way, I'm doing a watch-along. If you want to watch qualifying with me, I'm doing the watch-along of the qualifying over on the Twitch channel. So once we hit the deadline, I'm going to end the stream on YouTube and just watch it on Twitch. I always do this when Twitch is live because YouTube doesn't like when everyone leaves the stream, and I understand that you want to go and watch qualifying somewhere else. But if you want to watch the qualifying with me, it's on the Twitch side, so make sure to click the link down in the description below. But yeah, YouTube kind of just kills your channel when everyone leaves the stream, so it doesn't get recommended anymore. That's just how the YouTube algorithm works. So we're only doing watch-alongs over on the Twitch side. So if you want to watch my reaction and then see if there's any final fix potential this week, make sure you do it over on the Twitch side. But yeah, this team looks absolutely bonkers. Obviously, it's crazy that you can afford Norris plus Ocon. I could definitely not do that, but now it's kind of redundant because I think Bareman is better. But yeah, I do think the transfers are really good. We'd prefer not to have Hadjar, but I don't think it's worth the -10 to swap him out for Bareman. I think it's better to just do the get Bareman over Ocon and then just keep Hajar. I think, again, it's not worth a -10 to switch Hajar, but I think Bareman is better than Ocon. What's the final fix chip deadline? It's literally the start of the race, like when the whatever, the Tag Heuer clock goes to 0 when they go out on the formation lap. That's the deadline for the final fix chip. Bortletto on. Should I keep Bortletto when they do qualifying? Should we be worried with Bortletto after his accident? I'm a bit worried in terms of his DNF. I haven't seen anything that would suggest that they will not finish it in time yet. Why not Ocon? I think Ocon is good. Okay, well, you said it's someone else, actually. So maybe, yeah. I like Ocon. I really like Ocon, actually. It's just that I prefer Bareman now with his penalty. Yeah, we've talked about the Bareman penalty. If you go back, like, 10 minutes in the stream, you'll see my reaction to the Bareman penalty. We had a party. Hey, Yamil for the parking fine piggy bank. Thank you so much. You guys are paying my parking fines. Love that. A Haas DNF scares me. I'm more scared about Bortletto DNF than a Haas DNF, actually. Alright, let's... what penalty did he get? 10 place grid penalty. Yeah, 269 kilometers an hour during red flag is kind of nutty, to be honest. Yeah, but I've talked a lot about Bareman already, so go back like 10 minutes in the stream and you'll see my entire discussion on that. -10 to squeeze in Bareman. I don't know if I would go that far. It depends on who you're selling. But, yeah. Alright, let's go to team submissions. Actually, I have to go a quick pit stop to the toilets. But I'll be back in literally like two seconds. It's not I don't need to refuel or anything. I just, you know, quick tire change. I'll be right back. FP3 sims are out. Okay. We'll go back to team submissions once we've looked at FP3 sims. Thank you so much for tagging me, guys. Did I remove my camera? I did remove my camera. Okay, there we I did wash my hands. Look, they're wet. Proof. They're wet. Alright. Wash your hands, guys. It's disgusting. So, what are we doing? Would you remove Alonso for Bareman? No. I think Alonso's too good to remove. Sims in. Alright, let's go to F1 Fantasy Tools. Twitch chat, say bye for a second. You'll be back soon, I promise. But we need to look at the Sims, and you're kind of in the way. I'm sorry. You're kind of in the way, alright? What can I say? Team calculator. Where are we? Here. All right. FP3 Sims. Oh my god, look at Bareman. Bareman has shot up the rankings. He is recommended in literally every team now. They do like Norris over Piastri by quite a margin, but I'm probably not getting rid of Piastri. So I'm actually going to click to include Piastri in the team. Tsunoda. Yeah, no, we don't want to see Tsunoda here. Let's just remove that. Okay, it's saying... Well, I'm not going to buy Albon either. Chill out. Okay. McLaren, Ferrari, Piastri, Bareman, Lawson, Hadjar, Alonso. I'm not getting rid of Hulkenberg, though. So we'll include Hulkenberg. You know, we're just going to build the team that I want here, okay? Yeah. Checking some of the numbers here. Like, the difference between Hulkenberg and not Hulkenberg is like 0.1 points. So it really, really doesn't really matter. Well, I guess they removed Alonso now. Huh? Okay, it's slightly lower, but points-wise, I just think budget-wise it's so good. Let's include... let's include this and this into the budget. And yeah, it's saying Bareman all the way. Yeah. Recommended Hadjar to Bareman. I think that's a good move, yep. Bareman punished with 10 positions still in play. Yep. Bareman is better now in fantasy because of that. What happened? Who do I take off, Gasly or Franco? I prefer to remove Franco. At least Gasly can maybe get that car somewhere. But, you know, ideally you remove both. Why not Norris? Because I'm already on Piastri, and I feel like I'd rather save a transfer than get Norris in. Because I want 3 transfers for Spa. And, yeah. But I think, actually, I'm going Ocon over Bortletto. I think I'm going this team. Even though Bortletto looks better for budget, again, I just don't trust him this week. He's not been confident in the car. So I'm leaning more towards going for Ocon here and ignoring Bortletto. It could be a bit of a differential pick as well. Any news on Bortoletto's car? We haven't seen any news if they fixed it, but I would be surprised if they fail to fix it. Should I replace Bortoletto and save a transfer? If you have Bortoletto, you definitely don't transfer him out. Let me get that, you know, super clear. Don't transfer Bortoletto out if you have him. But the question is, if you don't have him, should you buy him? That's more of a question. Should I switch Mercedes to Ferrari for a -10? Probably. It looks like a good move this week. We're going to see Rain use no negative. I'm right here. You don't need to use no negative. I'm all positive, baby. Sims are out? Yeah, we looked at the Sims. Thank you, though. Alright, let's go back to team submissions. We have a couple of team submissions to get through, and then we'll do the tip of the week. The classic. So, we have some from yesterday. Unfortunately, since I don't know if you're actually in chat today, I'm going to skip this and actually just look at what has been posted today only. That's usually how I do things. So, unfortunate when you post too early because things change all the time. There's a Bareman thing now. So, main thing here is that there's a lot of teams here that's going to be without Bareman if they're posted too early. And I'm going to say probably get Bareman over someone like an Ocon. I definitely prefer Bareman. I need to go back. By the way, Bareman is S tier now. Bareman was A tier, he's now S tier. He's been promoted in the tier list that we did earlier this stream. Let's see. Where are we? Here. Okay. So, Telos says, 112 million budget, 2 transfers, home GP for me, so hard is definitely ruling head this week. Nice. First is current, you have Norris, Hadjar, Colapinto. Hadjar and Colapinto the main ones. I mean, Colapinto probably the main one that needs to go, but you're doing McLaren, Kick Sauber. I definitely heavily prefer running this team, right? I know it sucks to keep Colapinto here, but you get Alonso in, you get Bareman, no Hulkenberg, sure. But considering you're doing a premium, with like one cheap constructor, you should probably try to have 2 premium drivers, and I think Norris plus Hamilton. Realistically, you could also try and do Piastri plus Hamilton, and then upgrade Colapinto to something. Maybe that's too many transfers, probably. But I like, my ideal team for you would probably be something like this, but instead of Norris, you have Piastri, and then you go Colapinto up to like a Hulkenberg, or, you know, similar. Or Bortoletto, right? But that's probably too many transfers, so I think this is totally fine. And I see that you're going with a bit of British bias here, but I think this British bias team is actually pretty good. So I actually prefer this one over what you had previously. We then have some standard moves this week. I think this right here, getting Ocon in here, is just change it to Bareman, and your team's looking pretty good. That's definitely like that's going to be the meta this week for sure. So 1 free transfer. You can also do 2 free transfers and get Norris in. A good shout if you want to go for it and be differential. I think Norris could definitely win the race and outperform Piastri. Slightly lower chance for budget gains though, or definitely lower chance for budget gains. But it's all up to like, do you think Norris can actually like outscore Piastri by a significant margin this weekend? And maybe this is week to do it. So it depends. I would definitely try and save a transfer. It seems that you do have 3 free transfers available, Captain. So maybe you do the Norris build and go from there. We then have Salima. Salima has a current team, 2 transfers, 120 million. That's good budget, Salima. You have Hulkenberg, Bortletto, Alonso from last week, Norris, McLaren, Ferrari. I mean, it's just the Bareman, right? Save a transfer. It's definitely a possibility too, and you don't change anything else. Saving a transfer. Again, I don't think you should switch Piastri to Norris or Norris to Piastri this week if it's costing you an extra transfer to do so. I'd rather save a transfer for Spa. So definitely possibility 2 here to just get Bareman for Hajar and call it a day. We got a bunch of things here. Let's see. Chiauris. I tried. Let's see. You had similar team to me when we started, but Bortletto in there. In the back, any recommendations? I'll just get Bareman. It's a standard team. From now on, if your team looks like this, I'm going to skip it because it looks pretty similar. So, we have Celtic, moderator, starting with, well, the Lawson team. It's a bit different because you have Lawson. You could definitely argue that you keep Lawson now because he's at 4.5 million. But if you want to go for upgrades here for Haas, definitely go for it. I mean, we know what we've talked about during this time. It's Bareman here. It's Ocon or Bortletto is basically the play. Here we have a bit of a late. We have a bit of a fun team with Aston Martin in here. Again, Hajar probably out for Bareman, but if you're running a cheap constructor, you really want to have 2 premium drivers. So I would try and fit a Hamilton in here. But if you can't due to budget, it's difficult. I don't know what your budget is, so it's really difficult for me to judge this team. We have another, we have a bunch of late marks here. I'm not going to go through all of them. Again, you know this team. Everyone has this team. So we're going to call it for now. Thank you so much for the team submissions. Next day, do it before top of the hour, and you have a more chance of doing it. We have a super chat from Paulo. Thank you so much. Hajar or Lawson? I think it's a big decision to make. I think Hajar has been quite disappointing as of late in terms of what he's doing for budget. Or for points, rather. You would want him to do more. Lawson is at 4.5 million. The thing is, like, in this week, even though Lawson is unlikely to rise in price, so is Hajar. I don't think either of them are must-buys or must-sells. But if I'm just picking on a random, like, if you're wildcarding and you want to have V-carb coverage in there, I guess, I think I would probably go for Lawson, actually. Because he's at 4.5 million. Hajar, like, look at the Hajar chance to increase is quite low. And I mean, after the DNF is gone for Lawson, he's going to be probably much better than Hajar next week. So I actually slightly prefer Lawson over Hajar this week. But I don't think either is must buy or must sell. Thank you so much for the super chat, though. I really, really appreciate it. That's going to go help towards my potential parking fine. We'll see. All right, so we have 30 minutes. 30 minutes until the deadline. Have I forgotten anything? It feels like... Okay, I forgot something big. We need to do the tip of the week. Tip of the week. Love myself a little tip of the week. What are we at? Concurrent viewers, 680. Actually, concurrent viewers, 702. We hit it. 700 viewers. Insane. 702? We hit 700 viewers. Insane. 464 likes. Is actually crazy. Start of the year, start of the season, I was at 1,000 subscribers. And we're now at like 700 live viewers. We've done F1 Predict Tatatitus. We did the F1 Predict first half hour. What do you think of Norris Ham with Mercedes and Aston? Ooh. If Mercedes was McLaren, I would consider it. I don't understand if we can fix Bortletto's car in time. Help, please. Okay. I know we're partying because we're at 700 viewers. But. Okay, this is what I have to say. I don't think it matters if Bortletto's car is fixed or not. That's my hot take. Because if you have Bortletto, you sure as hell don't sell him. Because if Bortletto doesn't set a time, sure he gets -5 points. But you need him to get what? Like, what is his required points? -11. So he's going to start last with -11 points. You just need him to finish the race. So if you have Bortletto, even if his car is confirmed not ready for qualifying, you don't sell him. If you are looking at, you know, the game and you're considering which cheap asset to buy this week, first of all, Bareman's better. Buy Bareman. He has a 10-place grid penalty. The Haas car looks good. He looks good for budget. Bareman's better. Buy Bareman. If you need a second one, which I need right now, look at your budget. I can afford Ocon, so I'm going to go for Ocon. If you are 1.7 million or more poorer than me, I'm at 118.6 million with this team, by the way. Just go for Bortletto. Because even if he doesn't set a time in qualifying, it's kind of fine. It's kind of fine. That's my hot take. My hot take is, it doesn't matter if Bortletto's car is ready or not. And am I you know, am I just smoking something here, or I feel like that's how I feel like I'm correct in that assessment. What about Bort? I know. Yeah, Bareman's 10-place grid penalty is really good for fantasy. Grid penalties in fantasy is really good for cheap assets because you'd rather start in P20 than like P12. I don't have budget for Ferrari. What should I do? You either go like McLaren. If you don't have the budget for Ferrari, you could do like McLaren plus Kick Sauber plus like a Hamilton, because Hamilton is cheaper than Ferrari, so you're more likely to afford this. So you could do something like this. If you can't afford Ferrari and you still want Ferrari coverage, I think this is quite good. If you can, it depends on how many hits you do. All right, let's go back to partying. The party's back. Did we lose the 700 viewers? No, we're at 724. 733. We're at 488 likes. 12 of you are sitting there without liking the stream. Can we hit the big 500, the big half K? If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please make sure you do so. I'm trying to hit 5K before the end of the season. That would be a dream of mine. So, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so. You can always unsubscribe later. Let's do tip of the week. So, if you haven't been here before, it is your first stream, because I'm guessing a lot of you haven't been here before, considering how many of you are here right now. I'm losing my mind. This is by far the most I've ever had. We hit 500, by the way, just on the drop, and I timed the drop again with hitting 500 likes on the stream. I just want to point that out. Every week, the big segment of this channel, I am live every single deadline. Literally every single deadline stream this week, this year. I've not missed a single one, and my plan is to not miss a single one. I've been here for every deadline stream, right? Some were pre-deadline streams because I was at the race in Australia. It doesn't count, okay? So, every single stream, we do the tip of the week. Or Canada last year. Don't worry about it. That was last year. Last year, I started doing streams like in Canada last year. Okay. Anyway, 523 likes. Insane. Thank you so much, guys. Honestly, the support is insane. I could not be more grateful. I actually could not be more grateful. Thank you so much for the super chats this week as well. It's going to help towards paying my parking fine. Tip of the week is never wrong. Except for when it is. But we don't need to worry about that. We don't talk about the Gasly incident. Locked in with the handwriting. It's getting better. I say to myself every time with it looking, you know, the same. Alright, what's your predictions? What's your tip of the week predictions? I want to see them. Post in chat right now what you think the tip of the week is. Buy Bareman, buy Bareman. Buying Bareman. Bareman, no negative. Buying Bareman, buying Bareman. Listen, guys, I like Bareman. I don't like Ollie this much, okay? Hamilton over Leclerc? I do think Hamilton is better than Leclerc, but it's not tip of the week. JC is really close, actually. It's not actually keep Ferrari. But it has something to do with it, right? What have we talked about so far this stream? We've talked about, okay, what if you're on that Kick Sauber build, right? You're on Kick Sauber. You're on that strategy. And everyone's, you know, you're moving about. And I think everyone's moving about too much this week. This week, for me, sure, it's saving a transfer, but it's more about keeping the assets that you have invested in. Sticking on the strategy you're on. Sure, you can alter it by going from a Mercedes to a Ferrari if you're on a Mercedes build. Sure, you can alter it by going from an Aston to a Kick Sauber if you want to. But I don't think you have to, right? Everyone's saying, oh, Bortletto's not going to start, let's sell him. Why? Why do you need to sell Bortletto just because he's getting a -5 pointer? Sure, is it optimal? No. But it costs 10 points to do a transfer, even if that transfer is free. Because the transfer you save will be there next week. Oh, should I switch Piastri to Norris? Who cares? Stick with what you've got. Did you have Norris last week? Keep Norris. Did you have Piastri last week? Keep Piastri. It's not worth the switch to go over this week. Tip of the week for Silverstone is stick to your strategy. I don't think Silverstone is the time to do sweeping changes. You don't need to be reactionary about Bortletto. You don't need to be reactionary about getting Ferrari or selling Ferrari. Like, we were talking about selling Ferrari early in the week to like a Kick Sauber, 3x McLaren, 3x Sauber build. Ferrari look good. Just keep them. They look fine. Bortoletto's probably going to be fine. Just keep him. And sticking with the strategy you've got now is more likely to lead to you having an extra transfer in Spa. And Spa being a sprint race, and then also after Spa in Hungary, the 2-2 lineup could really be... It could be time for the 2 premium driver, 2 premium constructor lineup. So, switching it too much now, I think you're just going to get confused. So, tip of the week is stick to your strategy that you've been going for in the past, like, 2 races. And again, that doesn't mean don't sell Mercedes. I still think if you can sell Mercedes to Ferrari in a decent way, like, that doesn't completely destroy your team and you still have, like, Hulkenberg and whatever, do that. But, like, the only real strategy switch that I can see is if you can't afford... what I just talked about with, you know, Piastri, McLaren, Ferrari, if you're slightly poorer, I think then you could go from, like, Mercedes down to, like, a Kick Sauber and then upgrade one of your cheap assets to, like, a Lewis Hamilton and run a 2 premium driver lineup with Piastri, Hamilton, and then McLaren plus Sauber. I think that's the only time you, like, switch the strategy if you feel like you need to sell Mercedes but you don't have the budget to go to Ferrari. So, is Gabriel out? It doesn't matter. I talked about that earlier, Sean. Gabriel being out or not does not matter in terms of making a decision for this game today, in my opinion. So for me, yeah, this team. I think this team is really good. If you don't have the budget for Ferrari, I think this team is a fantastic alternative because you still get the Ferrari coverage. You have Kick Sauber in there as for some budget gains, and you can probably put the 2x on Hamilton. That's not the team I'm going for because I have the budget. I've already done Bareman this week. Bareman looks really, really good with his grid penalty. Definitely go for Oliver Bareman over someone like an Esteban Ocon or a Bortletto. And for Pierre Gasly, I'm going to go for Esteban Ocon. I'm going to go Bortletto less. That was not my plan at the start of the transfer, at the start of the stream, but him not looking great in practice, spinning twice, not looking comfortable in the car, coupled with the fact that maybe he won't be out, and coupled with the fact that I do have the budget to get Ocon in there, means I'm going to go for an Ocon build today. So, this, just turning in, has everyone dropped him? No, if you the actual plan, so this is why it doesn't matter if he's out or not. If you have Bortletto, you stay with him, because he needs minus 11 points to increase in price. So if you have Bortletto, you just stick with him. If you don't have Bortletto, well, you buy Bareman first of all. Bareman is better. But if you need to do a second transfer, which I need to do, and you're choosing between Ocon and Bortletto, if you can afford Ocon, go with Ocon. If you can't afford Ocon, go with Bortletto. It's fine to buy Bortletto this week. But his car being ready or not for qualifying, I don't think it matters at all. And I'm not going to go for him, sure, because I do think there's a risk to it. But it's not because of that, so... this will be my transfer. This will be my final team for Silverstone. I'm also very much paying attention to Final Fix. If Piastri is I've already done a MS Paint about this earlier this stream. If Piastri is like P5 to P8 somewhere, and Hamilton's on the front row start, I will Final Fix. Right? If Piastri is, top 3, I'm not going to do that, obviously. But if Piastri has a subpar qualifying and Hamilton is starting on the front row, I will Final Fix Piastri to Hamilton, so I'm keeping an eye on that. If you want to watch the qualifying with me, the watch-along of the qualifying is only happening over on the Twitch side, because YouTube hates it when people leave their stream, and I understand that you want to go and watch qualifying with your friends, your family, or just by yourself on a different monitor. So, the reason why I have to end the YouTube stream is because YouTube kills your channel otherwise. And actually, I have seen a very big difference in like how many people YouTube push the stream to since I've started doing the watch-alongs over on Twitch. So that's why I have to do that. So I will top of the hour. That's in 20 minutes. I'm giving you forewarning. You don't need to leave yet. We still have a lot of discussion to do, but. The watch-along portion of the stream will be over on the Twitch side, where I'll also discuss if there's any Final Fix. If Final Fix looks good this week, I'll, of course, make a video as soon as possible. So, video should be up on the channel. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so. We're also 1 like away from 550 likes, so if you're sitting there and you haven't liked the stream, please make sure you do so. 677 people still here is truly incredible. Thank you so much for the support. But this will be my team this week. I'm doing... Boom. Piastri, Hulkenberg, Bareman, Ocon, and Alonso. What a team. What a team. Keep Hadjar to have 3 transfers and go with Bortletto. I would keep Hadjar. I think keeping Hadjar is totally fine. 550 likes. Thank you so much. Insane. Absolutely mental. What a stream. And we still have 15 minutes to go. We have time to vibe. I'll take a question from chat now. Gasly for Bareman, minus 10 worth. Gasly is not the best asset this week, and Bareman looks pretty good. Usually I say no to doing minus 10s for backline switches, but in this case it could be worth it. But probably not. Okay, wait, FP1 Hadjar was 6, FP2 9th, FP3 6th. Why not keep Hadjar? You could definitely keep Hadjar. I just said that keeping Hadjar is fine. I'm selling Hadjar because of budget reasons. I don't think he's hitting 18 points. That's why I'm selling Hadjar. I think Hadjar... I would rather get Ocon's 5-pointer than Hadjar's 13-pointer this week. Just because of budgets. So, Hadjar needs 18 points to increase 0.6 million. Hadjar on a 13-pointer would increase 0.2. Ocon on a 5-pointer would increase 0.6. I would rather want the budget now because I really, really want to get to a point where I can afford a 2 premium driver, 2 premium constructor team. Ideally with Ferrari in there, since it's looking like Mercedes is not going to be an option anytime soon with these Ferrari upgrades. What mustache product do you use? I'll tell you if they sponsor me. Bortletto or Lawson? Thanks, Rain. I think I prefer Bortletto, but going Lawson to, because it's 4.5 million, could be a way to future-proof your team slightly, since he is likely to rise in the future races if he can keep it clear of the track. What is your future Limitless team looking like? I only have my Limitless remaining on my second team, and I don't know. We'll see. No negative? No. No negative. I am a avid believer, and I say this every stream, that no negative should be used in a sprint weekend only. Ocon safer versus Bareman in the rain? Not necessarily. I prefer Bareman. Bareman or Ocon, Bareman or Ocon, Bareman or Ocon. Bareman. Before the grid penalty, it was Ocon. Now it's Bareman. Ocon or Bareman. Are you guys in like a union or something? There's a lot of Bareman or Ocon questions in a row. Hey Brain, I have the same team as you, but I have 2 transfers, and Gasly, Hadjar, Alonso, Hulkenberg, and Piastri. Would you use both transfers to pick up Haas drivers for Gasly and Hadjar? I mean, I definitely do Gasly to Bareman for sure. If you want to keep Hadjar or not, that's up to you. I just prefer the budget of Ocon over the points potential of Hadjar. So that's completely up to you, Pable. If you want to do the Hadjar switch, and you could also do Hadjar to Bortletto if you want to go for that. But I would definitely do Gasly to Bareman, guaranteed. BearCon connection. Yep. Rainy Sunday. It's looking like it. Mercedes to Ferrari or save transfer. If you can do it for free, definitely do Mercedes to Ferrari. Anything on Bortletto? Not yet. How's it going in Sweden? It's raining. No negative? No. Thank you. You're welcome. No negative this week? No negative. No. I am an avid believer that no negative should only be used in sprint weekends. And I will scream that until I die. Or until they change how the scoring system in sprint weekends work. Could you look at the top 3 in your league? Are you in the top 3 of my league, Casca? Is that why you want me to look at it? Because I'll do it. You're not. Interesting. Or maybe you just have a different name. Top of my league is Albin Binu. I don't even know. At 2670. Crazy score. Autopilot, only if you have a 2 premium driver lineup. And in that case, I would rather save it. So probably not. Is it smart to switch Aston for Ferrari? If so, I have to switch Hadjar for Lawson. Yes, that looks good. Should be top 100? I think so as well. And even then, he had Sainz last week, so... Woof. If Bortletto doesn't do quali, can he race? Yeah, he just has to start from pit lane. Like, alright, I think people have been... Alright, quick spoiler for the F1 movie. Obviously, in the final race, we've talked about, Lance Stroll was also, injured and after qualifying. So, Drogovic couldn't jump into the car. All you need to do is be registered for qualifying. So if he sets no time in qualifying, he'll just start from the pit lane. What's the league info? I don't know. Oh, spoilers over. Spoilers over. What's your fantasy league code? It should be in the description, I'm pretty sure, of the YouTube stream. Is it raining in the UK already? I haven't seen. Nixie over on Twitch says, Bareman Patreon percentage predictions. That's a really good question. That's really, really fun. Stash Master got me in first and second all season. Salute. You're welcome, Molly. Is Bortletto car alright? I've talked about that before, Cozy. I don't think it matters to your decision. If you have Bortletto, you keep Bortletto regardless of if the car is completed or not. Whether you buy him or not, that's up to you. But I would prefer to buy the Haas drivers over Bortletto, even if the car is fixed. So, over on F1 Fantasy Tools, we have the elite data, where we can see the Patron 500, which I believe are the top 500 players globally right now, because they're like active managers who haven't used all their chips, right? Which the global 500 could be. And currently, the pick percentage of Bareman was 10.9%. I'm very curious to see what this number is after the deadline. Hadjar replaced by Bareman or Ocon? Definitely Bareman. Why buy Haas over Bortletto? Because Bareman has a grid penalty, so he's starting last, and Bortletto does not look comfortable in the car, so we are scared that he might DNF in the race. And it's not like the Haas boys are looking bad for budgets, even though Bortletto's looking better. Sell Bort for Ocon? No, I don't think you sell Bortletto for Ocon. I think you save a transfer. Oh, Sasuke, you are top in your league. You're second. I knew you were. Like, here you go. Great success. 26-57. That's a solid team. I had Bortletto last week. You're quite a bit higher than what I am. Congratulations. Great season. Max's car is still more struggling than he hopes. Thank you for the update, Celtic. What chips have you used for your main teams? I can definitely show you that. I have used Limitless, Wildcard, and No Negative. I think Extra DRS and Autopilot are always better later in the season for sprint races. No Negative I used in rainy Miami to great effect, I might add. It was a really good weekend to use No Negative. Or not amazing, but it was good. Like, I definitely saved some points by using No Negative in Miami. It was a rainy sprint weekend, so I used it. I used Wildcard immediately because my team was awful after the first week. And I used Limitless in Monaco to also great effect. 2,285 no chips. What do you think? Is that your total point score or your overall rank, Molly? Because that matters a lot. What do we have? What's the deadline? With 9 minutes till the deadline. Ocon for Bortletto, if you can also roll a transfer. I think that's decent, Muni. I think that's definitely decent. Lawson to Bareman or keep extra transfer? I would definitely Lawson to Bareman for sure. I would definitely. I think Bareman is. I put Bareman S tier this week. Like, Bareman's really good. And by the way, I think Bortletto's A tier even if the car is not fixed. Bortletto's A tier. No negative today, yes or no? No, in my opinion. Scared of a gasoline DNF? Aren't we all? That's why I sold him. Is it possible to recover 300 points from the first in the league? It's gonna be difficult, but it's not impossible. You just need but you probably will need some luck, and you have to play differential to them and pick different picks. Non-fantasy, who's your pole position? Norris. Button says Lewis pole. Whoosh. Just Bareman with the penalty? Yes. I mean, Kimi Antonelli also has a penalty, but he's not really an option this week. So, but yes, just Bareman with the penalty for now. Ocon okay. Ocon is good. Alright, what are we at? What did we finish the stream on? 586 likes. Brutal. Alright, by the way, we're gonna finish up on the YouTube side. If you want to watch the qualifying with me, the watch along is happening over on Twitch. Twitch, say hi. They're right here. Look at them. They're right here. So, if you want to watch the qualifying and my reaction to the qualifying, my immediate final fix reactions, that will be over on Twitch, top of the description. If you want to join my league, I think the link for that is in the YouTube description. I feel like it should be, right? If it's not, let me know, but I'm pretty sure it should be down there somewhere. Yeah, let's head over to Twitch and watch this together, but I'll stay alive on YouTube for another 6 minutes and answer some questions. YouTube frogs, yeah, say hi. If you're on Twitch, say hi to YouTube, because you're on stream right now. So, my transfers are done. I'm saving a transfer. I have one remaining, and Elio! Thank you so much for the super chat. Russell or Hamilton, Bortletto or Bareman. I have kick plus 3x McLaren. You definitely do Hamilton over Russell. You definitely do Bareman over Bortletto, in my opinion. But it depends on what you can afford, right? But in general, I prefer Hamilton over Russell this week. Ocon on another level on the rain. That is also a consideration. He's usually pretty good in rain. Bareman or Ocon? Bareman, but Ocon's also good. The grid penalty is very hard to ignore for Bareman's side. So let me grab a quick little screen. Thank you so much, by the way, Elio, for the super chat. We hit the goal. Awesome. Let's get a quick little screen grab of this and post it on the socials. Now, if you are a real one, you will interact with this. Team locked. Let's see. Hajar 2. Hajar and Gasly to Ocon plus Bareman. Bortletto, lack of confidence has pushed me away. Bareman grid penalty makes him a great option this week. Good luck all. Fantasy. Silverstone. Alright. I'm just gonna spam this in the chats. If you are on this app, you go and like it. Yeah, Bortletto. I don't know if Bortletto's fixed. Do you expect the patron 574% Hajar to come down by a good bit here? Yes, I do, for sure. Lawson or Bortletto? I prefer Bortletto over Lawson. Bareman in for Ocon? No, if you already had Ocon, I would not sell Ocon. I would get Bareman in for someone else. Or just ignore Bareman this week. I wouldn't sell Ocon. I would prefer to buy Bareman over Ocon, but I wouldn't sell Ocon. Again, tip of the week, guys, is stick to your strategy. There's so many assets that you guys have asked me, should I sell this? You don't need to sell it. You don't need to sell Ferrari, you don't need to sell Kick, you don't need to sell Aston, you don't need to sell Bortoletto, you don't need to sell Lawson. You know, you can, but you don't need to. Colapinto to Lawson? I think that's a good move, yeah. If you can't afford to upgrade Colapinto to something else, sure. Ryan says Alonso Hulk or Alonso Bareman. That's close. I think Hulkenberg's too good to ignore. It's probably Alonso Hulkenberg, actually. Even though Bareman looks good. Alright, what do we have? We have another 2 minutes till the deadline. 2 minutes to the deadline. Get your transfers in and then join me over on Twitch for the watch-along portion of the stream. We should actually probably begin to set it up. What an insane stream, by the way. Holy, we had 700 plus peak viewers. I have never been over 600. I don't think. I think my record was like 550. And then in terms of likes, I think my record before was like 330, and now we're at what? Like, we're at 603 likes, by the way. What? It's actually crazy. I hope everyone that liked the stream also subscribed to the channel, because I'm trying to hit 5k by the end of the year. So if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure you do so. If you haven't joined over on Twitch, you should do so now, because we're going to end the stream on the YouTube side. On Twitch, we're going to stay live, do the watch along, and over the next couple of weeks when I have more time available, because I've been very busy with work over June. In July, it's way calmer at work, so I'm going to be live much more on Twitch doing some motorsport gaming. So if you're interested in that, join me over on the Twitch side. Join the little Twitch chat here. It's going to be a fun time. Congrats on the stream. Amazing for you. Thank you, Sasha. Shasha. Thank you. Yeah, crazy deadline stream, Celtic. Absolutely insane. I could not keep up with the chat. 13% of people said that they'd rather their entire team DNF than like the stream, so that's unfortunate, I guess, for them. But 605 people liking the stream is insane. Thank you for pronouncing my name right. You're welcome. I'm happy I got someone right because I feel like I butchered a couple of names today. All right, let's go over to F1 dashboard, and I know I should be on the developer site, but yeah, it's don't worry about it. All right, let's switch over to the F1 dashboard little thing here, and we could just there we go, perfect. Actually, we'll do this. Actually, that's kind of good. I'm not gonna lie. And then oh yeah, all right, Twitch, say goodbye to YouTube. YouTube chat, thank you so much for the stream, man. Absolutely insane. Over the moon. I could never even dream that this would happen at the start of the year. The fact that we got like 750 people in here at once when I had 1,000 subscribers only 4 or 5 months ago is absolutely nuts. So thank you so much for the support. I'm going to end the YouTube side of the stream now. Thank you so much for watching on YouTube. Join me over on Twitch. Top link, or one of the top links on the description if you want to watch my watch along. What a great stream. Thank you so much. I'll see you in the next one. That's 3 weeks away in Spa. I'll be live as always. I would never, ever miss a deadline stream. It's my favorite thing to do in the whole wide world. That's how you speak. I've lost the sensation to speak. Twitch, how you doing?